This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome to the program. He was elected to Congress in 2014. I'm talking about 4th District Congressman Bruce Westerman. He has returned recently from a trade trip to Taiwan. What was on the agenda? Perhaps more importantly, what was on the menu? I am joined now by Congressman Westerman. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Roby. Great to be here with you again.
What was on the menu, as a matter of fact?
I'm not sure. It tasted good, and I came back and no adverse effects, so all's well.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about Taiwan and why you were there. It's the 6th leading export market for Arkansas. What are some things that you see Arkansas has opportunities to do in a greater way with Taiwan?
Yeah, it's the 6th leading export market for Arkansas. It's the 10th largest export market for the United States, just moved ahead of India on that list. So if you look at it, I was trying to compare it to the size of the 4th Congressional District, and the land mass on the island is actually smaller than the 4th Congressional District, but there's 23 million people that live there.
Of course, you live in one of the largest landmass districts in the U.S.
Right, so. With 750,000 people. So that gives you an idea of the density of the population. You know, Taipei is a very large city, and they use a lot of U.S. goods. They like Arkansas poultry. They eat a lot of pork there, but they sometimes have a hard time getting the pork that they want, and they like Arkansas poultry. They use a lot of not near enough wood products. They said they would like to get some more charcoal, and they recognize the benefits of wood frame construction in earthquake zones, which obviously they had a pretty devastating earthquake there a couple of weeks ago. And they would like to get a lot of our natural gas if possible. So, you know, if we had a way to get our vast amounts of natural gas liquefied and sent over there, they basically said they would take all the liquefied natural gas we could send them.
So out of everything you just talked about there, what's the most realistic for something quickly happening to change the landscape?
The poultry trade there is already very well established, and you know, they get some wood products there. If you talk about the 4th District, it's the largest poultry producing district in the country, and we've got a lot of timber. We're about 86% forested. So you know, personally from the 4th District's perspective, I'd like to see them take more poultry and more wood products. Would like to see them take more rice in there, but they grow a lot of their own rice, so probably not as good a market for rice and other ag products. But I think there's real opportunity there, and you know, if you look at Taiwan, they are a thriving democracy in that region. Officially, they're the Republic of China. Interesting, when I got there last Sunday morning early, I attended church there. They're very proud of their freedom of religion, their position on human rights, and they pride themselves in being a strong democratic voice there. So
you don't advocate a one China policy, which has been a pretty big subject of debate over the years.
That's the official stance of the U.S. government since the embassy was moved to Beijing. But I think we need a strong voice there with what Taiwan represents and what they stand for, and they are such a strong trade partner with us.
I know Taiwan is not part of the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or the Trans-Pacific Trade Pact, but does that play into the equation somehow? I mean, you've basically supported fast-tracking that measure, but you're in a wait-and-see mode right now on the details.
Yeah, I voted for the TPA, which gives you authority to look at the TPP, or the Trans-Pacific Partnership. There's a real desire in that region of the world to form stronger trade agreements with the United States. You know, I'm reading the document. I've got the TPP on my desk. It's 800 pages without the appendix, which is another couple thousand pages. So
it's not light reading.
It's not light reading, and I try to take it a chapter at a time and highlight it and put questions where I have questions. But a lot of the trade with that part of the world, there's no restrictions on what we import from there, but the overriding goal of a trade deal would be to open up more markets for our products to go overseas. I don't see anything really happening on TPP this year. It's such a controversial issue. The thing about TPA is it extends the fast tracking for 4 or 5 years. So under a new administration, we could possibly go in and rework the deal. TPP, you hear people call it Obama trade, and it's just kind of a toxic issue right now. But in the long run, we need more markets for U.S. goods, and that part of Asia is a place where they would like to have more U.S. goods and have stronger trade relationships with the U.S.
So let's shift topics and talk about what is kind of putting a pause on some action in Congress and just the nation as a whole. We're in a presidential election year.
Right.
I believe that you were a Mike Huckabee supporter before he put his campaign on suspension. So
Right.
who's your number two?
I still haven't decided yet. It's interesting. I got back from Taiwan. I was visiting with my mom and dad, and they said, "Who are you voting for?" And I said, "I don't know. Who are you voting for?" And they said, they don't think they'll make up their mind till they go into the voting booth. And I'm kind of the same way right now. Just,
March 1st. That's your
yeah,
time frame
and
for making a
be here
decision.
March 1st, so I've got to vote early. But
well, of the three top that are kind of circulating up there, you got Marco Rubio, who's coming to Arkansas Sunday afternoon. You've got Donald Trump. You've got Ted Cruz. Just not even a favorite among those three? Or could you be satisfied with any of the three as the potential
well,
nominee?
I'll obviously be satisfied with whoever wins the Republican primary. I think Trump's a bit of an unknown. I'm not sure what you're going to get with Trump. Rubio and Cruz are both freshman senators. There's things I like about both of them. So I think I'm kind of in the same boat a lot of Arkansans are. I'm struggling with who I'm going to pick when I go in and cast my ballot.
All right, Bernie Sanders it is. He said it right here on the show. So
Yeah, if I were voting in the Democratic primary, I would vote for Bernie.
oh,
Yeah.
you're not, though. All right, Congressman Bruce Westerman, thank you as always. Appreciate you
Thanks,
making
Robert.
time for us.